All right, St. Lucia, so guess what? This morning is back on I Am Chayla Mendez. We are here with Kay, so you know that means we are at Felly Belly. How are you today, hon?
I'm good, thank you.
Super. Now, I'm very excited because I have a smoothie in my hand today that is as vibrant as my top. And listen, it's hard to, that things have to come to an end. This is our final smoothie. So you better listen up because this is going to be a good one. So I'm going to let Kay take it away.
All right, so this one is the Beat This. We did do it in the natural, all natural. So instead of using the strawberry puree, we used natural water and used frozen strawberries instead. It contains strawberry, avocados, which are seasonal, and if we don't have avocados, we usually use papaya. Also beets, which are really important in this blend because of the name, and banana and lime as well.
How can we forget that lime? Now, with this smoothie, first of all, this combo, what is it gonna be good for?
It's really good for heart health because the benefits of beets. It's really good for heart health. It's good for high blood pressure, and it's also really good for good in fiber, as all smoothies are. The avocados as well are lowering cholesterol, so it helps lower cholesterol. Really good source of fiber.
And getting the good fatty oils in there
The
too.
good fatty oils as well, and also limes, very good source of vitamin C.
And of course, that's how we have to, kind of give it that little kick to it too,
Yes.
right? Great. Now, I know we've learned, and at least by now, St. Lucia, you should know. So when you do come to Felly Belly and you get the natural option, you know that means what again?
Okay, so you're omitting the sugars and you're getting all the nutrients that you would get through all the vegetables and fruits in your smoothie. So natural is the way to go.
So at least you know we do have choices, and of course every once in a while you'd want to treat yourself, so the choice is there for you. Now for me, like, I've never eaten beet, but I can tell you I've tasted this. It tastes really good, and so this just goes to prove, doing smoothies in my mind is just a way to get the nutrients that you wouldn't have, and even to get kids and family members into it too.
It's a good way to get your children to eat their vegetables. Like, we all know children aren't that much of fans of vegetables, so you add a little bit of good fruit in there and you just give it to them, and they wouldn't even know if it has spinach in it or kale, all these scary green stuff that they little monsters.
Yeah, no, I love how she said that too. And if you notice, we are still smiling here because that's what it is. To me, that phrase, you are what you eat, is super important, and it's true. And of course, if you're eating good food or you're consuming it, then you have to be smiling. And of course, at Felly Belly, they serve smiles. This is why we keep smiling over here. And if Kay is any true representative for that, I think you're going to believe me even more. So just before we wrap up this one, what is the recommendation? What time of day should we have this smoothie? When is it best to consume?
I would say you have it any time of day.
Okay.
Breakfast, for lunch, or for dinner. Anyone. A little snack in between. That's all good.
All right, perfect. Well, so St. Lucia, there you have it. So beat this. We're going to get down to the hard work. Let's see how it comes to life.
Right now we're making the Beat This, and we're doing it the all natural way with fresh water. You can also have it with coconut water, or if you want a little extra sweetness, you can use the strawberry puree as your base. We're now adding the banana, some local avocado, some nice red beetroot, and of course some zesty lime, and our fully packed antioxidant strawberry. Ice and blend.
Good morning, St. Lucia. Time to wake up, and thank you again for being here with us on this morning. I am Chayla Mendez, your host, and today we have Charlotta Charles here with us. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm feeling very good, and I'm in a mood to help enlighten St. Lucia. Lately, we've been hearing a lot of reports when it comes to leptospirosis and, of course, taking precautions, safety measures. So today, we are going to enlighten you. We have our expert, and Charlotta is with the Ministry of Health. But first of all, if you can let St. Lucia know your formal designation.
Okay. So I am the Environmental Health Officer with the responsibility for the National Vector Control Program.
Now, I'm going to start off this morning, first of all, by differentiating, because, we have different types of diseases, different ways it could be transmitted, for example, airborne diseases. So the one in particular, leptospirosis, I know it's a vector disease. So if you can explain to St. Lucia, what is a vector-borne disease?
Okay, so a vector-borne disease is pretty much a disease that is spread using the organism as the vehicle. So take, for instance, mosquitoes, rats, flies, ticks, all of these are vectors, right? They're potential vectors because they have the ability to spread diseases, not just leptospirosis. They can spread dengue, they can spread other types of diseases. So these are vector-borne.
So good. So that's number one. So now we know what is a vector-borne disease. Now we're going to carry on. Leptospirosis in particular. Can you enlighten us a little bit more about that?
Okay, so leptospirosis is a bacterial infection, and it is spread by the urine and feces of a rodent. When I say rodents, I mean rats and mice. You could also get leptospirosis from your pets as well as pigs. So that is these are potential vehicles for the spread of leptospirosis.
Okay, so now that we know that, what types of environments are conducive to helping, the disease flourish, or the spread of it, I should say?
All right, so you're going to find the rats and mice flourishing in environments where you have poor garbage disposal, poor sanitation. So take, for instance, in communities, you may have this empty lot where everybody tends to dump their garbage in. When you have drains coming from food establishments and there's no grease traps. These are the things, these are the environments that encourage the proliferation of rodents, rats and mice. When you have water not being able to flow properly, because rats need three things for them to pretty much survive. That is food, shelter, and water. And in our typical community, we provide all of these things for these vectors to flourish. And therefore, we were asking persons, to take heed to the environment. Look at how you're getting rid of your garbage. Persons have a tendency to put the garbage out before garbage collection day. It leaves the opportunity for not just rats, but dogs going to it. Garbage scatters everywhere. You would see rats, mice. Take for instance that, the way Castries is after some type of activity. There are rats and mice everywhere. So these are the types of environments which could be conducive to rats and the spread of leptospirosis. But we're also thinking of other factors in terms of, let's say, canned goods, for instance, right? Most persons will buy a soda and they would never think to wash the top of the can before you put it onto your lips. This is one of the things that we encourage persons to do. Wash the top of the can if you can't. If you're out and about and you're unable to wash the top of your can, you need to use a straw. Same thing if you're gonna buy your coconuts. Always, use a straw. It decreases your risk of transmission for leptospirosis.
Great. Now, I'm happy you mentioned that, because a lot of things maybe that are warehouse stored goods, we do have to be careful for. Even simple things I would think of, like even envelopes. People like to lick the envelopes, but there again, you never know. So these are things that need to come to mind. And something else too, for example, in terms of how we store things. Because another way that I discovered that it could be transmitted is drinking of water. Now, sometimes your environment is clean and you're storing water and it's not fresh, and rats and mice can get in, they drink, they urinate, and there you have it. You're also contaminated.
Yes, exactly. Because while rats and mice are having a meal, they're nibbling on stuff. They urinate and defecate at the same time. This is something that a lot of persons don't know. So this is where the transmission actually happens, because they're having that little meal, you left your bread on the table, your cupboard isn't properly sealed off and stuff. So they come in and, something to eat, and they start nibbling. While they're nibbling, they're gonna urinate, they're gonna defecate, and of course, I remember as a child, some persons used to, if a rat nibbles on a piece of the mango, or something, you'll say, it was a bird, and then they just cut it off and they eat it. So this is the dangers that persons will actually put themselves at by, eating these types of foods that rats and mice have nibbled on.
Great. I think based on all of this as well, we need to stress on the importance of us as individuals being vigilant. If each of us look at ourselves and what we do, whether it's, cleanliness at our home, our area, looking out for our neighbors, neighborhood, because too often we may say, okay, well, we go to certain vendors and they're not neat and tidy, but at the end of the day too, we're also choosing to consume there. You mentioned garbage, and another thing came to mind too. Sometimes the garbage collection day, you have it out, they don't pass. Yeah. And then you find people just leave it out there and forget about it until, the garbage truck pass. So how important is it, and this is a strong message for St. Lucia, for us as individuals to ensure that we are proactive and vigilant to help combat this?
Okay. In terms of garbage collection, I would definitely say, there are times that the collection doesn't happen as it's supposed to. These things, these operational issues happen, for whatever reason, right? But one of the things I would suggest to persons is that if the garbage didn't come through your community, yes, it's true, it's garbage day and stuff, but to me, there is no reason that the garbage should actually stay out. To me, you could store it in an area where you could minimize the risk of rats getting into there, even with pets. I know there's something that a lot of persons are very absent-minded about, but after you're done feeding your pets, you're supposed to take the bowl away with whatever food is left, because this is how your pets would get infected with leptospirosis. The rats would come, because the food is now not just for the pets, it's for the rats as well. So rats and mice would come, take a little meal from that, and then your animals could get sick.
So we can see how easily this thing can be spread. So we have to be active. And is there anything with you all as well, focusing on the environment, any support that you all provide to the communities right now?
Okay, so what we have done, because taking care of the rodent population in St. Lucia, it's a really big job, and we are strapped for resources. So we're taking an integrated vector management approach to it, which basically means that it's not just going to be environmental health, but we're seeking the assistance of the communities. We're seeking assistance from other stakeholders in terms of addressing the problem. So we've worked with solid waste. We've done assessment in a few communities. We've been looking at hotspots where we're seeing rodent activity and where we know we should have some sort of intervention. We have been doing baiting operations, which is pretty much just the laying of poisons for the rats in the Castries community. We've been responding to complaints from organizations as far as rodent infestation is concerned. We're giving persons the advice, because sometimes it's not just about putting down bait. If you just put down bait in a home or in a building, it may not just solve the problem for you. You may need to.
They are smart, so.
Definitely. So you may need to deny your rodents access to your facility, which would mean ensuring that all the holes of conduits and other little accesses that the rats may use to enter your facility is blocked off. So we give persons that type of advice as well.
Well, Charlotta, thank you very much for taking time out and being here with us, and of course helping to put St. Lucia in the know. So this is advice for everybody, from the adults to the kids, whoever is watching right now. Just remember that, leptospirosis, we've been hearing a lot about it, but we have to be vigilant. So you are aware, knowing is half the battle. So make sure you take action. Everybody, good morning to you, St. Lucia, and I'm so thrilled to always be bringing you something new, something interesting, and something that can be very useful for all of us. So today, my handy dandy co-host for the moment will be Millens,
Millens.
and he is representing for H&L Environmental Services, and this is a company right here in St. Lucia, and they do some really interesting things because you know lately we've been hearing about so many government buildings and major business places with mold and all these things. So that's my little clue. But Millens, first of all, welcome to This Morning. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing very well, thanks.
Great. Well, I'm super excited. This way now we can enlighten St. Lucia. So let's kick it off by telling them what you all do at H&L Environment Services.
Well, we are primarily an indoor air quality based company. We look at and do assessment of any indoor space. We can do testing, especially for mold testing and identification. You know, we can come into your space, take a sample of the space, run it under direct microscopy, and then get a sample so we can look at it and tell you what issues that you have within the space. So we can give you the counts, the types of mold that you may have in your space, right? And how we can, at the end of it all, we hand you an inspection report that will detail the issues that we found within your space and then how we go about dealing with the space. So we're not only certified and qualified in identification, but into the remediation of the space. Now there's a difference. Some people see cleaning up mold as just cleaning, right? But remediation is a different process. It doesn't come with spraying. Some people have the idea that you come with spray bottles and some antimicrobial and you kill mold. But it's a little more different than that. You have to come in, be able to assess the place, look at the source of the problem. We focus on removal of mold and not just killing mold. Because even if mold is dead, it might still be in the environment. And it being in the environment, it can still be allergenic, it can still be toxic, right, within the space. So we focus on removing the spores from the space. And that's what we're internationally certified in doing.
All right, well, at least now we know the difference too. And you see, that's what I'm telling you, we're always learning here, St. Lucia. So I think we're about to learn a little bit more too, because why is it important? And I think it's something maybe that in our society we've been overlooking, but now major problems finally over the years have built up. So why is it important for us to be aware and also ensure that we have a good quality of air?
Well, the thing is that we have to look at our health. You see, there are common issues that we end up coming up with in the home or workplace, like coughing, sneezing, sinuses, and irritations like in the throat, itchy skin and things like that. And we may think it might just be a little rash today.
Right.
Or it might just be the flu that we're having today.
Right.
But it could be because of your indoor environment. And a lot of things could impact it. Apart from mold, there could be volatile organic compounds that could affect you, or the level of the carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide that's within the space. You know, all those things can affect you. And things you may think that's normal, it could be because of just the space that you're in.
Great. Now, you know what? That has my mind going. That's definitely some food for thought right now. And, you know, I mean, we're always quick to jump and say, oh, okay, you know, I'm catching the cold or it's the flu or something of that sort. And I never once stop to think that for real, it could probably be our environment.
It could be. And the thing is, apart from that, you yourself can know, because there are some persons, especially when they come to the workplace, for instance, they feel very sick when they get to the workplace, and when they go home they feel better. Or you leave your home feeling sick, when you get to your workplace you feel better. So these are little indications that probably the place you are is infected with some problem. And we'll be able to do the assessment to let you know what the issue is.
Great. And the good thing too is, I mean, as you were mentioning, mold may not be the only issue, or it might not be the issue, and there's
Right.
other factors. So when you all come and do the assessment and the test, you know, and collect so that it can be tested, how long does that process take to get the results and find out really how the quality of the environment is?
Well, we have a 5 to 7 day turnaround time, and that's guaranteed. We can rush it for you if you so desire to know. If you want it like now, we will be able to give it a 24 hours.
Okay.
But our normal time is 5 to 7 working hours. So for working days,
Okay.
5 to 7 working days. So that's our turnaround time.
All right, perfect. Well, Millens, if anybody is watching and of course may be interested, how can St. Lucia reach out?
Well, first of all, you can call us. Our number is 384-7868. That's for mobile. And you can also call us. You can also get us on Facebook. We have our Facebook page and we have our website, which is www.hnles.com. So you can also email us info@hnles.com. So these are the ways you can contact us.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm super excited learning that we have this kind of technology down here. And I think it's perfect, especially in light of different cases coming up. So St. Lucia, I think we all need to be proactive, be vigilant, and know what environment we are, whether it's at work, at home, at church, wherever it is. And of course, we know we have the experts here.
The experts, that's right.
And Millens, all right, he's also managing director. So feel free to reach out to him directly. Let him know you were watching this morning and that we sent you, okay? So
right.
Thank you very much.
Well, if you come saying that they sent you, then you can get a little extra.
All right.
Extra.
Now you see, that's what we're talking about. So we're giving you the hookup, so make sure you say that you were watching this morning.
That's right.
Let them know, and of course you can ask for Millens and you will get that special pricing. So that sounds really good. We want a healthier St. Lucia. You know we've been pushing that. So Millens, thank you very much
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you very
and
much.
I think we've definitely learned a lot today, so we look forward to anything new advancing. You keep us in touch, okay?
Nalin, thank you very much.